Alright, what is up guys? It is Robert of Movies with Me, and welcome to another video talking about the last movies that I saw in the last month. So I saw 12 movies in February of 2024. Let's get straight into it. The first movie that I did see was The Beekeeper. So The Beekeeper was a Jason Statham action movie that I thought was genuinely great. Like, I actually enjoyed it way more than I ever thought I would. I'm very much into action movies, of course, and this one had just really good action scenes. It's kind of, compared to maybe John Wick-esque, or maybe like the movie Nobody. If you saw Nobody, I really enjoyed it. The story gets, over the top, and it's very self-aware of itself in terms of how ridiculous it can be, which I like. And Josh Hutcherson as the villain is very good, very funny, and just it's surprisingly really good. Like, I was not expecting it to be that good, but the action is well directed, and it also is not just like gunfight or whatever, but it's actually genuine, using objects around him, creating these crazy weapons, and I really enjoy that for it. Again, I wasn't too sure. I thought, I think it came out January or something. I was like, I don't know about that. January movies could be hit or miss, but this one turned out to be really good. I enjoyed it a lot. The Beekeeper, great movie. The second movie I saw was Fighter. Fighter is the first movie that I've ever seen from Bollywood, and it was playing in a theater near me. Actually, it was playing in a decent amount of theaters near me. This was like one of the biggest releases over in India, I believe. And so I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll check it out. Let's see what it's like. I saw the trailer. I'm like, this reminds me a lot of Top Gun. And yes, it feels like it takes a lot of stuff very heavily from Top Gun, the ideas of Top Gun. But I thought it was okay. I wasn't too sure exactly how I'd feel on this. But the one thing that I thought was pretty funny was that you'll have this very completely different thing. Like, you'll be in a military base, and then all of a sudden it just cuts a hard cut to someplace else, and they're just dancing and singing, and the choreography for the dancing is well done, but I can't help but think, wow, that is random as hell. But regardless, it was an actually okay movie. I didn't think it was necessarily good, but for the most part I had a decent amount of fun with it. It is a little long, but it was okay. I enjoyed for the most part. But yeah, if you want more Top Gun, some crazy jet sequences, hey, Fighter gotcha. The third movie I saw was Project Iceman. So Project Iceman I saw on YouTube. It was a documentary by the Yes Theory guys, if you've ever seen Yes Theory, awesome YouTube channel. It follows this guy named Anders Hoffman in his quest to do a Iron Man in Antarctica. And if you don't know what an Iron Man is, I mean, you gotta essentially do all crazy type of shit. So you're swimming, you're bicycling, and you're also running. You're doing a marathon. And in Antarctica, I mean, it's nuts. Like, the amount of things he had to do, and the amount of training, but actually seeing him doing it is really impressive. It's a fantastic documentary, and I highly recommend checking it out. They put it free on YouTube now, that anyone could just watch it. So I definitely recommend it. It's over on Yes Theory's channel. And yeah, Project Iceman, really inspirational, really well done, and really well made. And to see the struggles in Antarctica, I think he did it in like 72 hours. So some crazy number. It was an insane feat, but it's yeah, it's really unbelievably impressive. Some crazy human strength that most people in their life would never even achieve 1% of it. It's crazy. But yeah, Project Iceman, totally recommend. That was awesome. The fourth movie I seen was Scrambled. Scrambled was a great movie. I was the only one in the theater for this movie. Sadly, because happily, because that's awesome, I'm the only one in the theater, but sadly because it was a great movie. It's one of my favorites of this year so far. It stars Leah McKendrick, who directs, stars, and writes it, which is awesome. When you see that stuff, that's really impressive. You could tell it's just such a huge passion project. But it is about this woman saving her eggs for later in life that she may eventually want kids. And I thought it was a really good, sad movie. There was a lot of emotional moments. It's not necessarily a genuinely sad movie, but there's a lot of things that touch on loneliness and relationships, how she doesn't have a guy in her life, and I thought it was great, man. I thought it was really great, and it was one that I definitely recommend to a lot of people, because I don't think a lot of people heard about this movie even. It's definitely a unique movie. I don't think I've ever seen anyone, in their quest for saving their eggs, and she goes through a lot of shit, and I didn't know that you had to do all this stuff just to save your eggs for later on. I mean, taking these treatments, these needles to yourself for weeks and months, or however long that was. But it's a crazy time for her life, and she did a fantastic job. A lot of great performances. Pretty damn funny movie. It's a mix of comedy plus like drama, and I really enjoyed it a lot. Scrambled, definitely recommend. The fifth movie I saw was the Lego Movie. So this is a rewatch for me. I've seen this movie maybe a couple times, I think, before this, but I own the Blu-ray. I just want to watch some of my Blu-rays, so I watched the Lego Movie. And what a good movie. What a great movie, honestly. It's so damn funny, so unique, especially back then when it was like the first Lego movie, that came big budget and everything. The writing is fantastic, nice and witty. Even the live action scenes when you see Will Ferrell and his son, super charming. Got great music. Obviously, the everything is awesome. It's generally just a very funny adventure that is also really great character, like has really great characters. And this is one that easy. Everyone said it before. Easy could have fumbled, based on a Lego movie. It seems like maybe it's gonna be a cash grab time. No, it was generally a well-made movie. The big reason movie is so good is due to Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. They hit it out of the park with this movie. It's amazingly animated. They look like real-life Legos. Such a good movie. If you've never seen it, highly recommend it. It's such a fantastic animated movie that combines so many different universes in a way too, with having Batman, introducing Lego Batman in this movie. So damn funny. There's a lot of funny little cameos that'll pop up that are used for the story, and it's just such a great ride. Highly recommend. I saw like a lot of the behind the scenes also. It's super interesting to hear the behind the scenes. Also the director's commentary I heard with Chris Pratt and a bunch of the other actors. Just funny as shit. I really love it. Yeah, Lego Movie, highly recommend. Sixth movie I saw was Lisa Frankenstein. This was a good movie. I wasn't 100% sure how I was gonna feel about it. I only saw maybe like I don't think I even saw the trailer. I just saw like the photo, and then I was like, all right, that could be a cool concept. And it was a very cool concept. It stars Catherine Newton as Lisa, and it's actually directed by Zelda Williams, which Robin Williams' daughter, which I didn't know that she was doing that, but I think she did a great job for her directorial debut. It gets really wacky towards the end. It's actually more gory than I thought. You go on this funny romantic journey with Lisa as she falls in love with this guy who was born many years ago, came back to life, and through some magical things that is not described too crazily, which is fine. Again, it's self-aware, which is good. Using different body parts of different people, they eventually put Cole Sprouse back together, and as he goes back together, he goes into a tanning bed, and the tanning bed gets him a little bit more alive, like Frankenstein, and the way they handle that stuff is very funny and way worse than I thought it would be. Like way worse in terms of like the selection of people and the how it affects the people around them is like, wow, you killed that person. That's surprising. But it's really good, and I actually quite enjoyed it. I think it starts off slow, to be honest with you, but once you get into the movement with Cole Sprouse in it and everything, it gets a lot better. So I thought it was good. I quite enjoyed it. Lisa Frankenstein, funny movie. The seventh movie I saw was Sometimes I Think About Dying. This was a good movie. This stars Daisy Ridley. I wanted to see this one. It was only playing in like I think 2 theaters near me for like 1 week, and I enjoyed it, man. It's a really slow burn movie that I think a lot of people won't care for, and there's not a lot of dialogue in it. But that's because Daisy Ridley is this very introverted person that is very shy. She does not really, she likes her routine in life, and that's really it, but she's also sad. You know, she does this incredible performance on this melancholy person, and it all changes when she eventually meets this new hire, and they start to go on dates and stuff. But realistically, we see Daisy Ridley do these mundane tasks like just going to work and eating and watching TV, and it's really well done though. I did hope I would enjoy it more, but overall it was a good movie, and it is one that I would recommend to a decent amount of people. Not everybody for sure, but a decent amount of people. It's something by the end that you actually do kind of shed some tears though. It's quite a hard-hitting ending, I'd say, and really the whole movie is leading up to the last line of the film, and obviously I won't say anything about it, but I think they did a well done job for that. Yeah, sometimes I think about dying. Really good performances, pretty funny at times, but it is definitely a little bit slow in some points, but it takes its time, very much its time. It's essentially a character study on Daisy Ridley's character, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. The 8th movie I saw was Clueless. Yes, Clueless. I've never seen Clueless before. This was a first time watch for me. This was a part of my list that I wanted to do for my series that I didn't do, which was Classically Trained, where I see a bunch of classic movies for the first time. I really enjoyed Clueless. This was a very funny movie. This is one of those classic rom-coms that came out in 1995. You start follow Cher, and she and her friends, you know, the popular girls at school. the things that go on this school is just, you know, obviously very unrealistic and stuff, but it is so damn funny. But when Ty starts to get a little bit more popular than Cher, things go south, and it's really cool. I quite enjoyed it. A lot of these characters had really good chemistry. I feel like they were genuine friends in real life, because they just have that really good connection in terms of the cast. Definitely one I'd recommend if you've never seen it before. Like I said, it is a classic, and I can see why. It's a really good rom-com, and when I think about it, yeah, I guess it is one of the best rom-coms I've seen. It is funny. It's got some great chemistry between the cast, and that's what makes a good rom-com. The 9th movie I saw was Out of Darkness. This is a movie that just popped up on my AMC app to just watch, and I was like, Out of Darkness. I clicked it, so it was a horror. It was only like an hour, 20-something minutes. I'm like, it's like takes in place in like caveman time type shit, and I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. And it was cool. Like the where they take place, where they shot this film, I'd have to look that up. I'm like, damn, this looks awesome. Cinematography wise, fantastic. They use a language that is made up, so they'll literally talk to each other and made up. It's all subtitled. Language isn't real. It is just something that they made up for it. Well, I guess to be fair, no languages are real, right? So they just did make a real language. But it's actually generally, it's a good movie. It takes a little bit to get into, I feel. There's some slow pacing at some points that I don't think quite worked. But for the most part, it is a good movie. And there are intense moments. Music, the atmosphere, it all culminates into one pretty intense points. It's this tribe, this family that has gone to a cursed land because they can't really grow shit or anything. And so they're trying to find, you know, land to actually grow things. But there's something in darkness. There's something that's following them. There's something that's making these crazy noises. And when you find out the reveal of what the thing is, some people may not like it. I was a little torn on it. But overall, I was cool with it. But it is a very unique thriller. Super unique thriller. I love movies in this time period, which we don't get often really at all, especially when it takes itself this seriously and it is well directed and well acted. This is a movie that I think was good. Again, I do think it drags down a decent amount by some of the pacing, but overall, good movie, good thriller, and a very unique one at that I think is good to support and watch. The 10th movie I saw was Grounded 2, The Making of The Last of Us Part 2 documentary. Now, some people may be like, this isn't a movie, and I say, fuck you, it is. Because at the end of the day, it's a 2-hour film documentary, you know, and this is about the making of The Last of Us Part 2. It's on Naughty Dog's YouTube channel, and I love it. I love gaming. You know, if you don't know me, I have my gaming channel, Gaming With Me. I love The Last of Us Part 2. It's a fantastic game, and to see the development of such a big game like this is awesome. I do wish it went into a little bit more details. I think this could have even been a series, have multiple episodes, and really dive deep. Like they have this one on Psychonauts 2 that I highly recommend, is documentary, and it was like 30 some episodes, maybe even more, and they each were like a half an hour long. Like they go deep into the process of development, and this is one that AAA games, I think they should get even deeper into the development. I enjoy this a lot. You know, just seeing how many hours, what changes throughout the game. You know, like I said, I do think they should put more, because I know there's so much more details that they could have been added. But it is a 2-hour documentary, so what they stuffed into and crammed into this 2 hours is really well done. It's a well-made documentary. It's well edited. Has a good amount of sequences. Obviously, we get to see stuff that happens like 2020. You know, as you start to hit the whole COVID-19 pandemic stuff, so things had to change. You see the leaks that happened throughout the time and how it affected the staff. You see all these just the concept of what The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be, how they're juggling between games with the Lost Legacy and stuff. It's really cool. Highly recommend it. And even if you're not into games, I think it's just a good documentary. So yeah, Grounded 2, definitely recommend. The 11th movie I saw was Stopmotion. This was a really good horror movie, guys. This is one that was playing in a few theaters. I don't think it's playing anywhere near me. I think it was playing for like a week and a half. They might be playing in like one theater near me, but that's really it. This is one that I wish was put as a wide release, because this is one that is really good. It's super unique. It's about this woman who is making a stop motion film, and then her things come to life, but not in the exact way you think. There's some sort of twist, a lot of things that's going on in the mind. It talks about like mental issues and stuff, and it was really well done, man. They combine literal stop motion animation with live action thriller horror and create a genuine unique product in the horror genre, and I think a lot of people would really enjoy it. I think also people may not care for it. Maybe they think it's too much of a slow burn, or it's too confusing, or they don't know what's real, what's not, and some people may not like that stuff. But if the thrills are genuine, if the horror is genuine, regardless, what you're seeing is a really enthralling thriller, which is cool, and it is a unique one, and it's one that it really has some grotesque things that you see, and anytime you can kind of squirm in your seat, it's doing a good job, in my opinion. And there are some things that happen at third act that just like, whoa, holy shit. And that's always a good thing. But yeah, very unique horror movie. Highly recommend. You know, it's definitely one of the best ones in the past year or so. So, stop motion for sure. The last movie I saw in February was Madam Web. This was awful. This was really bad. Yeah, if you notice, there wasn't really any movies that I disliked this month, which is good, up until Madam Web. Madam Web was generally just awful, and it's just sad, because when I was watching the movie, I was like, I mean, this is alright. It's not bad. It is kind of bad, but it's alright. It isn't the biggest deal. But as you keep thinking about it, as the movie progresses, you're like, no, a lot of this doesn't work. A lot of this does not work. And there are times in this movie, there's something that happens in this movie that I'm like, that's just so stupid. Like, I can understand characters making dumb decisions. I get it. People are dumb, inherently dumb in this world. And especially when you're in the situation, you would make dumb things, like for horror movies. But this isn't a horror movie. This is this is just and you know, it's not really even a superhero movie, because there's no really superhero going on. There is genuine false advertisement in this film, just to let you know. The whole posters, all the trailers of all the Spider Women and stuff, like the crew teaming up together, that shit don't happen in the movie. Happens for maybe 30 seconds in a dream sequence. It don't happen. I mean, that does not happen. Do not go into it thinking it's a superhero movie, because there's essentially no action in terms of superheroing. It don't happen. I'll just say spoilers, right? Okay, spoilers. You know, there's a part of the movie where they are hiding because there's this guy that wants to find him. It's the guy in the trailer, the Spider-Man looking, evil Spider-Man looking guy. He wants to find him and kill him because they kill him in the future. At least he thinks in his dream. Apparently, in the future, he could tell that those 3 girls are gonna kill him. So he has to kill them before they kill him in like 10 years. Who knows when that's gonna happen, right? But then, essentially, they got this NSA type thing where they're tracking every single camera in the world, and they could see where these girls are. And they're hiding, and it's working. And then in the house, this woman gets pregnant, and this guy that they're staying with is like, let's go, girls, we gotta take her to the hospital. And of course, when they're driving, they get spotted from the cameras, and then the guy goes to attack them. And I'm like, that is like one of the worst writing I've ever seen in a film. I mean, I genuinely mean that. Like, there's dumb decisions you make in a horror movie, but that's because you're in an intense situation that doesn't happen to anybody. Of course, you're going to make some crazy decisions. Some people will. This is a thing where you're hiding and you're sitting down enjoying life. You're watching movies. You're like, all right, whatever. And you decide to go into the car where there's going to be a bunch of cameras finding you. And they all go, all 3 of them go. For what? Why are you going? This is not your mom. This isn't anyone you. It's one of the dumbest writing decisions I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it really is so bad that it hurts the entire movie. And I usually can let things pass by because I'm like, well, you know what? Characters make decisions. I gotta stick with that writing. And now I'm just going on a rant on this movie because it affected me so much where I'm just like, but why would they leave the house? What's the reason? The guy can drive the woman to the hospital. Why do they have to sit in the passenger seat and the seats everywhere? They're not driving. It's not like the guy can't drive and he's like, oh my God, who could drive? At least do that. Like, only one of the girls has a license. He doesn't have a license. He can't even drive. So one of them have to go, and then one of them gets spotted, and then one of them gets taken or something, and they all gotta save her. Something, right? I just thought of that right now, and that is makes more sense than the other one. But they all go like, all right, girls, let's go. We gotta go to the hospital. Why? They're hiding. You know they're hiding. Why would they do that? It makes no sense. It makes 0 sense. Oh God, it was an awful movie. Awful movie. It was so bad, man, and it just really bad writing. You know, there's some funny moments here and there. Actually, a few chuckles that I had, and that's why I was like, "Ah, me and Azai." And then that happened, and then other things before that happened. I'm just like, man, what were they thinking with this? But I'm just ranting on this film now. Let me stop. Madam Web, not good. I wouldn't recommend it. But that was the last 12 movies that I've seen in February 2024. In March, I've already seen 2 movies. We'll go watch a third today. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night. I will try not to rant anymore. That was a long 5-minute rant on one scene. I apologize. But I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Peace. Safe home, late bowls, fuck what's on the docket. Straight jokes, paying quotes, emotions always wildin'. Came close, made posts, someone's always smiling. Saved hope, wave, mo, poppin's always piling. Straight slow, change low, got a lot of mileage. Every day